He's gone. Okay, what's going on, everybody? How are we doing? NQ's been somewhat untradeable all day. Sorry, my camera is just it's just not right lately. I gotta position myself better, I guess. Oh well, we'll hide the TheoTrade logo. NQ's been very, very tough today. Well, have not even really traded it. Been kind of focused on the ES a little bit. So I want to talk about a couple things regarding the ES, regarding the NQ, regarding kind of the spillover between the two contracts. The numbers are still the same, right? And so let's just kind of talk through this. The 100 handle block or the 100 points of price that I kind of pound the table on in terms of the NQ. These are all NQ numbers, by the way, right? And I don't want to sound like cheesy or anything, but these are basically my proprietary numbers that I mapped out with the NQ. It's all the same stuff over here on the ES. The difference is the ES typically travels in a much slower fashion than the NQ. But when we have these huge fits of volatility like we have today, um, you get to see kind of how if X then Y. So in other words, like here, for instance, and we were trying to grab this morning. It was just, even for the ES, was very volatile. So let's just follow this. You guys know one of my best, if not, probably one of the more higher probability setups is, sorry, I'm looking for it. There we go. Is this setup right here, right? And remember, so the caveat to this discussion is that all moves occur from these inflection points. The inflection points being the big round levels, in this case, the roundy, the 6,700, 25,000, 24,500, that kind of stuff. Any big round level is considered an inflection point for me. But let's just look at it, right? And normally this right here, this signal, it works on the ES, but it takes all day to play out normally because the AS, the AD, sorry, the ATR on the ES is typically single digits, low single digits, right? We don't usually have huge volatility. But here, from the roundy above a 12 seeks a 26 and a 33, right? Spots in play 96 and 06 primary entries. Now, this is factoring in using 6 handles of risk. We wouldn't do that on the ES, right? We're not going to risk $600, $800 to make 1,000 or to make $600 or $800. But the similarities are here. So expected move low is right here. So here's the signal from the roundy. Where is it? Sorry. From the roundy above the 12, right? So from the roundy above a 12 seeks a 26 and then a 33. From a 12 right here above the 33 seeks a 50. From the 33 above a 50 seeks a 62. From the 50 above 62 gets a 77. Whoops, right? There's the 77. And then 88. And that's where we're at. And so for all intents and purposes, the 6,800 is open now on the ES. But like I was saying with G, we're just a little too far, too fast. It honestly is. But here I wasn't looking at this correctly. So right here, this is the other signal, by the way. So coming from the 88 with a close above the roundy right here, it opens the 12, right? And so we were trying to get long here. Like I was trying to be honestly a little too perfect. But we were trying to get long here against the roundy. So basically when I use the term against something or versus something, it means that the if X then Y equation is in play. So what it means is if the roundy holds, we go here, right? And then for runners, keeping some skin in the game. This thing ran hard, by the way. A bar close above the 12 opens the 26. So this is potentially an 06 to 26 on the ES in a matter of 10 minutes, 15 minutes. That's how fast our market's moving right now. That is how fast our market's moving. Same thing here, though, right? This opened the 33. I was long here. Guess what? It was moving so fast, it went up 5 points. Right, I'm just looking to scalp it up to the 33. So I wanted to buy, I bought the 11 half or something like that. Not the 11 half, sorry, like the 13 half or something like that here, looking for the 33. It goes up 5, comes back and slams me out, and then it goes. So that's just my methodology, because I maintain that if this thing gives us a look, meaning if it goes away from us by 4 or 5 points on the NQ, I place an even stop. Got dinged out of it. If we had this, however, you just follow the roadmap, right? So a lot of traders will ask me, we're going to trade some ES here in a second. A lot of traders will ask me, how can I capture these big moves? How can I keep the runner and capture like a big move on the ES or the NQ? The hard, fast answer to that is don't take profit. Hold it. What does that mean? That means that if you are holding a long from here, you are not trailing stops. You're not moving it up. You're not doing anything. You're letting it come take you out. So in other words, you should be doing what, your dirty work, getting your risk out, getting the trade paid for, and not getting nervous or, rolling up the stop or anything like that. The only time I would roll up a stop if I were long here is when we get a close above the 33. Then I would roll it up, but I would only lock in 10 or so, right? Don't try to follow this thing up with a trailed stop too tight. You'll just give it up. It'll take you out. I don't know if that's helpful or not. I felt like I needed to talk to you guys about that this morning, or afternoon, depending on where you are, because now we're coming back into a potential inflection point right here, right? And so we have a target up here, right? We have a target up here, being the roundy. It makes sense, again, if we're kind of wearing the tinfoil hat, that we want to close this thing over 6,800. We are massively unchanged after being down pretty good, right? I thought we were actually going to get another test of this, and we didn't. So this is Friday last week. Oh, I guess I can't go back that far. Give me 1 second here. So this was last Friday. Remember, super bearish all day. They came back from lunch or went to lunch, and if you fought this thing going up, you gave back a lot of points. Likewise here, same thing, right? Not the same level, but pretty close to the same type of move in strength. When you're watching the dome lift like that, I'm all about being aggressive and fading and all of that stuff, but there's a time not to do that. You're just going to give it up. And when your ATR, the ATR, by the way, on the NASDAQ, or on the ES rather, sorry, it's still very high right now, was 11 here. It was 11. I do not trail until it gives me another signal, Jay. So here, I'll give you the logic right here. So the logic with these levels and the way that I trade these levels is that if we get a bar close above 1, here, let me find the 100 handle block session. If we get a 2-minute close above it, that means if the next level underneath it holds, in this case going up, then we have a date with higher prices, right? I will tell you higher prices are owed. So here, let's just walk through it. Right? So in the case of this right here, from the roundy above the 12 seeks a 26 and a 33. So when the 33 gets a test, it's over. You need the next signal to indicate that higher prices are owed, right? So let's use this. Well, everything keeps disappearing from my computer here. That's kind of getting old. Not my computer, but the fact that this stuff's disappearing. Let's see if they'll let me. Yeah, and now I can't use it. All right, give me 1 second. The Epic pen is not working. Okay, right? So from here to here, and now on the NQ, what do? I go 06. If the roundy holds, I look for the 26. That's my plus 20, right? Why do I do that? Because knowing the NQ the way that we know the NQ, it loves to walk up 20 or 30 or 40 and walk back 30 or 40. So if we're doing this just to generate a day or make a day, get a day done, we have to pick targets on the NQ. You absolutely do. In my opinion, anyway, just my opinion. NQ is a spazzy trade. On the ES, it's a little different. You can actually hold runners all day long on trend days, especially, right? So here's the logic though. Once this is done, you need the next signal. So the next signal is right here. A close above the 33 opens up the 50, right? Follow me? So only until you get this signal would I start to trail and start locking some in. But this is the deal. You are basically saying that if we are going to the 50 as long as the 33 holds. So if you were long, let's just use 06. If you were long 06, you could roll that up under to like a 24 or a 25 or a 23 or an 18, something like that. Because if we've gone from the roundy up to like 42, right? That thing could come all the way back to 26, no problem. Still be 20 handles higher as a higher low and then go to the 50. And I would just hate to see you give up, that trade and get dinged out. It happens. It happens often. And, so right here in real time, well, hindsight, but this is what it did today. So hypothetically, you're long right here. This is the signal, right? So up here, you're plus 20. And by the way, if you're going to do it this way, you cannot sit there and stare at the dome because it'll make you want to take profit. Because if you see a big rejection like this, you're like, oh man, I should have took my plus 20. How many of you guys do that? Like, damn it, I should have took the plus 20. I mean, I do it live. You guys see me do it all the time. I'm kind of spazzy like that, right? And then you might do something silly like, oh, screw it, I'm out. And then you take a plus 10 here. Or you've already trailed your stop and now they take you out and then you see it do that. Because remember, right here, you still haven't hit the target. 26 it does what it's supposed to do. And just like for all my golden setup folks, when we come from the roundy to 26, what do we look for? And this Maida said she caught this trade. But what do we look for? If we short a 26, what do we look for? I know, Asher, yeah, because you're following my stuff. It's just so silly. It's timing. It's just timing. Rodney does it too. Edwin never. Come on. 12, right? Thank you, Rick. So 26 back to 12. high probability, real high probability in the NQ. Same thing, you guys. It's all the same stuff, right? So if you were saying, well, I'm going to lock some in just underneath the 12, I'm going to lock in, why would you lock in 5? That's silly. I don't think you should do that. This, if you say to yourself, if you walked into your desk, your office, at your desk, and you're like, if I can get 20 handles out of the ES, I'm good, then you have no business holding the trade. If you say, hey, it's been a hell of a week, I'm just going to see what this thing can do, boom, you're long. Stop freaking looking at it. Stop looking at it, right? Oh, and or follow the level. Say, look, I'm not going to move this thing until I get another signal. So, but what you're doing by doing this is you're risking this thing moving all the way back and taking you out. And so as a trader, I know I can probably speak for everyone in here. If you were up $1,000, we're just going to talk turkey. If you were up $1,000 here, and now all of a sudden you get taken out, you're going to be pissed off at yourself. Are you not? You're going to beat yourself up over that. Oh, I should have this. I should have that. But it pays to know this stuff. Like, okay, that's the 26. That's the first target, right? So as long as 12 can hold, we're going to get 33. And this is a little dicey right here, but you did have VWAP kind of doing its thing, really showing you, right, where all the volume is. Boom, 33 is achieved. I was using that as a target, by the way, because, had they not taken me out here, I would have been out here for a plus 20 and happy. Done. Peace out. Then now they make you chase the freaking thing. I have not faded this today at all. No, no, no. So anyway, that's all. Just learn the schematic. The reason I'm harping on this for the ES is because it's like, it's in front of us. It's highly volatile today, very volatile. So you're starting to really, all this stuff illuminates in volatility. You guys wonder a lot why it does this all the time in the NQ. It's just because the velocity of the trade. And just keep in mind that on any given day, the typical ratio of these bars, move for move. So this is the 1032 bar, and this is what, 40 handles, give or take. We're going to call it 40 handles. This is the same bar here. Where is it? Right here. This is the same bar, and it's 7.5. So this thing's going to move 4 or 5 handles to every one that this moves. Yeah. So when you have a high ATR, and see, this is just hopefully keeping you on the sidelines. Again, the golden setup room, the ATR was in the 30s for the entire session. It was in the 50s this morning. The dome, meaning the order entry, where we put our orders in, is just psycho, just wild. Even this is still, it's got a lot of back and fill. So you got to get in this rhythm, like Asher was saying, you got to get in this rhythm with how price is ebbing and flowing. It's doing this, right? And so if you get long here, right, and then it goes, maybe goes up a little more shallow, and you're like, hey, these are my rules. I follow my rules. I'm going to go even stop. Ding, you're out. And then it goes. And it sucks. So then it just comes down to timing. So now you got to kind of have to time this thing a little bit in terms of like back through, like letting it, for instance, right here, what we're going to do, since this has been tested a couple times, and this is the expected move mid right here. This is the middle of the expected move. So this is 50% of it. And we just got a nice reaction a couple times. So if we're going to hold this, remember, we have higher prices owed. We have higher prices owed. So that's why we would still, even in light of these lower highs, we would still like to focus on that side of the tape. Now, all things considered, I want to look left. I'm using this level as my level to get long. I would rather, I'll be honest, I'd rather buy it up here. I don't want it coming back here. I want to buy it here to go there, that kind of thing. But here, let's let it test the 62. Our risk is the bottom of this wick, which is what, 59? 60. So the low of this is 60, so that's our risk. Let's let it come to 62. We'll put an order in to buy 63. We'll kind of see what it wants to do. That's exactly right. So what Jeff said, there's always another trade. Always. And it's Friday. So look, if you got your handles, I'm on micros. If you got your handles for the day, don't be giving stuff back on a Friday. That's the worst feeling in the world. Man, I had my day done and then I just gave the stuff back. Over trading. Guilty as charged most of the time. Also, another kind of thing that you can do here is let bars close. Like have a timer somewhere either on your system or otherwise. See, so as this starts to go test this, there's no reason to even put the order in now. There's no reason to put the order in. We were going to let it test this. Too many tests. This was our risk. Well, they just got violated a little bit there. So now we want to force this to close above the 62, right? The bracket that I typically use on ES is I like to take risk out at +3 or 4. And then the stop is -5. You go even when it goes to your way. So your auto break even is 8 to 10 ticks. Your take profit on the first contract is +3. Depending on how fast it's moving, I will bump that up to like a +4, or if something's owed, something to that effect. But the one thing that I do not modify on the fly is going even when it goes 3 or 4 my way. And that's just, again, based on the logic that if I'm in the right trade, it ain't coming back. And if it comes back, I don't want it. It's a kind of a pain in the butt, but it saves you more than it hurts you. And how do we know that so well? Because we do homework obsessively with this chart. All charts, NASDAQ and the ES, right? All charts, both of them. Like I look at all chart. I look at 2 charts, right? So we got no reaction off of 62, which has a couple tests. So we're not going to fight it. Now there's a close below. It honestly looks like a short now. So now we're going to try a long as it comes back here to 50. We're not going to buy 56 and risk 6, right? To make 5. We wouldn't want to do that. So we're going to have to be patient here. They may rotate this thing all the way back. I don't think we've fixed anything here at all. If we wanted to try a fade, because the AD has been negative all day, if we wanted to try a fade, we have a close below 62, right? Let's do that. We have a clean close below 62. Look at the difference. You have closes above, they go to the next level. Closes above, next level. Closes below, we should go down here. So let's short 60. Let's try a short here. We're wrong over 63. So you see here, Dave, short 60, take profit. First take profit's 57. Or we're going to buy 53. So they didn't let us in. We'll see. What's up, Phil? It may want to come rotate right back here to VWAP. That's all. Just the whole point of doing this short-term intraday scalping, trying to get into moves is, for me anyway, what gives you an edge is identifying risk. Where is the risk? When am I wrong? And if that's not palatable, then you have no business being in the trade. You say I can't risk that, then you have no business being in the trade at all. Because we can all do math. We all know that these are 50 bucks a piece for each handle. We all want to grab 20 of them a day. I do. You do. It takes risk to get that stuff done. I don't have to tell you guys that. So we're going to let it pull back. Why 53? That's just a level for me, right? I'm willing to take heat into the 50. My stop's going to be at 48, which might be where it wants to go. I don't know. So we can do what we can do with this ATR is we can let 50 get a look, and then we can buy the back through. But this is the definition of versus, right? So I'm willing to take heat down to the 50. Yeah, Wise Pub's giving us a hard time here. Now, if this goes back up to 58, we'll wait a second. But and it may pop enough to give us an even stop again. Let me send that over to Roman. All right, so we'll cancel that. I think we had the right idea there. We just couldn't get filled. And we'll stick with it. It might need to test 50 proper. So I'll see if I can get a 52 half. Let me send that over to Roman. I know that we've been having some issues with Wise Pub. Is it happening for anyone else? My screen dropping out? Hmm. Yeah, they're teasing us. So we'll have to be patient. We just have to wait here for a second. Hmm. Yeah, it's on Wise Pub's end, so can't do anything about it. Sorry about that, you guys. Well, it's a big inflection point, Daniel, so it makes sense. It's kind of building pressure above the area I want to get long. So We're going to have to let it actually test. Is that a 5 ATR? Yeah, we're going to have to let it test at least 51. Still plan on buying like a 52 or a 52 half. Target is going to be the 62. What time is it? It's one. Jeez. Chop it, chop, chop. Now the question is, who wants to go home long? That's the question. Who wants to go home long? You got a lot of longs trapped way above. You got a lot of longs trapped way above. The whole rate cut thing, the lack of data. I think the market really reacted more for the lack of data, just the uncertainty. Sorry, I'm not trying to like be artistic here. Yeah, let me move over here. Um, you got holes in data. You got no inflation, no jobs numbers. We're going to stick with our plan, even though we just missed our entry. We didn't. It's a 53 half. Yeah. I mean, look, if you're doing this for any longevity, as long as you're not YOLOing every day and you're saying, hey, I'm using these products, these things as vehicles to make money, not taking them home long, ever, um, then stick with your plan. I think there's some value in, and I'm working on it right now. I was telling the futures room, going to start swinging some micros, just like a couple contracts at a time. I'm kind of fleshing out the system, if you will. But there's just big moves to be had, really big moves. And so why a micro? Because you're not gonna lose sleep, pro. You're gonna set it and forget it. It's gonna be the Ronco trade, right? Yeah. So someone's like, hey, I don't want to put a tinfoil hat on, but I think the government cooks the books anyway on all this data. Then why wouldn't they release something made up? There's a hole in the data. Labor Department says you will probably never see October's numbers. I'm assuming the same for inflation. You're just not going to have a number. It's going to be a big gap. That's a problem for a lot of things. Anyway, we missed it. Here. Oh, wait. Let's short the 60. Let's see if they want to go get the 50. Let's just see if they want to do it. It kind of feels like they're going to ramp it, though. 62's got a hold here. So if 62 holds, I'll stay in. What we want to see is some 58s pretty quick. And then we want the 8 to become a 6. So I tell you what, let's tighten this up a little bit. We're only going to risk 3.5 on this. And we're dealing with a big ATR. So yeah, I'm going to get stopped out. It's better than taking a -5. But they are not serious about that side of the tape yet. Now we just have confusion. Now we have a mess. Because if the bar closes above 62, well, I'll tell you what, we'll stick with the short side if it gets to 70. I'm going to short, let's see if we can short a 69 here. And look, the other thing is today being Friday, very active news cycle. So you'd have headline risk at any time. It acts like it wants a 70 here. And risk is now, so risk on this would be the overnight high. Because above that breaks this kind of trend line here, right? You can see this little trend line right here. So you really want to see 70 push back a little bit here. Maybe not. Maybe we're going to the 6,800. We're back above 62 now. Elvis, sorry, am I missing something here? Oh boy. Send me, Elvis, you have to send me an email on trading view stuff. No, they're coming to get me. All right. Well, I guess we're not so bearish. I guess we're not going to pull back to 60 or 50 yet. I'm still alive, barely. Yeah, just shoot me an email and I'll give you what I have. Now, I didn't put them together. Um, I don't know if you're looking for NQ or ES. I don't have anything on TradingView for ES. Only yeah, I don't know what I was thinking even trading this thing right now. I don't have anything on ES. So much for the sell signals, huh, Peter? I don't know if we even have a trade. So I was willing to risk some micros on this stuff, but you know, I don't want to sit here and give a few $100s back just for the sake of. So this chart right, this Robert, this is the advanced decline. So um, this is tracking basically the way I use this is broad. This tracks broad-based buying and selling. So you had massive divergence this morning. You had and usually this is right. This is more right than wrong. So usually price will flow with what this is saying. So you have price going straight up, you got AD going straight down, making new lows. Well, the opposite happened. So this caught up with price. And so basically looking at this down here, you can see it matches price, identical. It's all identical, right? But every now and then you'll get some massive divergences in these. So that's all it is. So a rising AD supports the longs, a declining AD supports the shorts. And we're back to, let's see something here. We're going to buy a 70. Let's see if they want to go back up to 77 here. Now, I don't want to get whiplash here. It's still a lower high, but 70 is a pretty big level. We got AD kind of rising. It needs to put in another leg though. So let's see. We might just hang out here, right? Who knows? We'd like to see this candle close above the 70. I think it's just a plate of jello now. I really was looking for something more than that, like right away. See, it closes below 70. So this now starts to set that up, right? And so all I'm going to do here is I'm going to go even stop 69. We're going to risk 1 to stay in this trade. All right. So now we've got to even stop. Let's see if we can just scalp. Well, we'll take a +3. You know what? This might be where it just hangs out. So we'll see if we can just scalp 3 handles here. Make up one of those little stop outs. Honestly, this should punch through here. Let's see if we can get a +4 on this. We'll see. Yeah, I mean, it's, it should be chopping at a lower level, in my opinion. This thing ran up really hard this morning. So 67.50 probably is the big level that needs to hold from here. So anyway, I'm going to give you guys over to Corey. He's coming in a minute here. We'll just wait a second here. It's lunchtime. It's kind of choppy. I think the easy handles have been made in this market. I'm really not trying to make money right now. I'm just trying to give you guys examples of trading around these levels. So the idea here was it's okay to buy the pullback here, right? Tim would be saying it's a flag, but the bar close below puts this right back into view. And then the context of the trade and the AD is all lower highs for what it's worth. And then this blue line right here, that is the overnight high. So basically, since Corey's here, if you were looking at a profile for the overnight session, this is the top of the profile for the overnight session. So what did it do? It overshoots it, and now it's back inside of it, right? So that's a good analogy. And then, of course, you got weekly pivots sitting right there. So this thing, just be careful with the NQ today. You better love what you own there. It's just spitting out 40, 50 handle bars all over the place. Anyway, have a great weekend, everybody. I'll catch you guys on Monday, and we'll kind of go from there. All right. Everybody have a good one. Let me give you over to Corey here. He's going to take you guys to the next hour. I am just going to stop share, Corey, because you are already the host, sir. All right. Peace out, everybody. See you.
All right, have a good one, Tony. We'll give a minute to transition over. We got the buy, the dip, ignore the bears, morning swing, and intraday trading. So we'll pick it up where Tony was discussing on the scalps, mainly S&P and the others. But let me know how you're doing in today's session. We'll keep the energy going. If not, then I'll just retire till the weekend here. But give me a howdy, hello, a heads up, and something.